Good morning, y'all. I hope everybody's doing good today. Hey, Sephora. Good morning, love. How are you? Good to see you. Girl, I'm going to talk about some Canadian news today. Just a little bit. Yes. I'm drinking some chai. Hey, Miss Tiva, good morning. Oh my gosh, that's so creepy. I was just thinking about you this morning. Hey, Raw, how are you, sis? Thank you for being here. Yes. Sephora said, hey, I'm doing really well. Yes, I'm here for it. Yes. We're going to get into a few things. Good morning, peace, love. Yes. Ross said, I am well. I'm glad, sis. I see the foolishness that's happening, but I see you holding it down and holding your own. Hey, Strictly Platinum. Big up. This is a lot of my faves in here. I scheduled my workday so I can be here. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm so glad that you're here, Sephora. Thank you for being here, love. I know I haven't been going live much, but I'm going to see if I can start being more consistent with the lives. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat. Shout out to the content creators. Okay. We have Miss Tiva, Robbie Privilege, Peace, Love. Okay. Did I miss anybody? Except Miss Tiva. But thank you for everybody that's here this morning. I'm so glad that you joined me. We have a few things to get into. Let's first start with the messiness. Okay. We're going to start with a little mess, a little light. So these are just some things that I observed. Most of them are speculation, but I feel very strongly about it, and I would love to hear your thoughts. So let's first start with the troll popping, okay? So I have noticed a trend of, I think it's been 3 trolls so far who have said this thing to me. Y'all remember a few weeks back, I think it was when I did the hard truths video. That was when I was talking about 7 Stars and Tim Blaine. And I talked about how evil it was that 7 had planned to do all this crazy shit to Tim Blaine. But I also called out Tim Blaine and said, look, there's certain things that I noticed about you. And she wasn't too far off in some of her commentary. I know I try to be fair over here. It's not about picking sides. It's about being honest from my perspective. So in that video, I remember feeling very discouraged because I just kept seeing a whole bunch of crazy dark shit. And I was like, this really makes me not want to be here in the sector. And I remember saying, I could have sworn I said I was going to leave for a couple weeks. Like, that's what I said at the end of the video. So since then, I did leave for a couple weeks. I didn't do any beef sector commentary at all for a couple weeks. And then I came back, child. There's people are mad. Hey, Queen Diva, good morning. Let me tell you something. Some people are pressed and in the hurt in their spirit. They got to be hurt because 3 different trolls have said to me on different platforms, they're always looking for me, talking about something. I thought you said the sector was evil and you were Thank you, Miss T. Miss Tiva's paying attention. She knows what I said. She knows what happened. I thought you said you were leaving the sector and that we're evil. Notice the words we're, okay? Personally, I don't think a subscriber would say that. That sounds like a content creator to me, because why are you taking it so personal? You said we were evil and here you are, Each time that they've called me out, it's me calling out something else that somebody else is doing. So it's not even like I'm being messy, because I have my messy days where I am messy and I'll be in the chat laughing and carrying on and kikiing. The irony is they're not even saying this to me at those moments. They're saying it to me when I'm calling out obvious wrongs by other content creators. So that makes me think, this must be a content creator. And I think these pages are related. It's always some rando name. So this morning I was on iBabe's community post, and I saw that she put up a really good post. She was talking about Babe and how she pretty much chronicled a whole bunch of the evil doxing, crazy shit that she's done. Okay, just very specific. You know, iBabe come with the receipts, and so I wrote under it, "Oops." You know, like I think it was like facts explosion, because it was a bunch of facts. Okay, it wasn't emotion; it was a bunch of facts. And then Wyatt Earp, this is the troll name, proceeded to say the same thing that I said to you guys just now. This is the third time. I think it's interesting that the same language is being used, you know, the evil sector and we are. I don't think a subscriber would take it that personally. And so I don't know which content creator or creators this is, but y'all are in your feelings. And I'm going to put you on notice. I give no fucks about what you think. Okay. I do what I want. I know what I said. And even if I did say I was leaving and I decided to come back, it's none of your goddamn business. Okay. Because you don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me where to go, and you don't tell me what to talk about. If you don't like it, block me, you know? So that's the first thing that I noticed, that this is part one of the troll popping. And when I would click on each of those pages, I noticed that they were there's just things, I'm not going to say all of it. There's things that I noticed that I'm like, wait a minute. This is not a regular page. This is a troll page. And there's ways about the way the behavior of that person is behaving that indicates that they're a troll page. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want them to switch up, but I know a lot of the content creators know what I'm talking about. They know some of the things that you can look for that indicates this person is not a real subscriber. Well, they're certainly not any of my subscribers, but they're not a real, they're not a real commenter. They're just a troll page. And that's all I'm going to say. So let me pause before I continue. Sephora said people take it personal because you have a degree in mental health, so you can tell professionally when someone is off the wall. Sephora, you know what, sis, you're onto something. I never even thought about that, because I'm like, why are you taking this so personal? When I'm just telling you what I see. I'm telling you what my opinion is. You're absolutely right. I think they get hit in their spirit. Okay, because I'm calling it for what it is. It's crazy. It's just like, why are you worried about it? I got another troll story. Don't worry. I got another one. Queen Diva, people are saying hi. Facts. It's crazy. I was like, yo, you were invested. You're invested. You're following me around. Good morning, Mixology Plus. You know, you're following me around to tell me the same phrase over and over, except for it's a different name. You're really invested. And most of the times it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. It's crazy. It's crazy. Wait, did I miss Miss Manny? I didn't even see her in here. So it's just, child, I think those trolls are a content creator being ridiculous. Okay. They're being ridiculous. Miss Tiva said, you observe the talking styles easily. Okay, Miss Tiva, see, this is what they don't realize. Good morning, Ben. Shout out to Ben Stinker. Big up. You know, they don't realize that I sit and listen to people every day. I have to listen to what they're saying and what they're not saying. And just because I can't see your ass doesn't mean I'm not going to read between the lines. I'm not saying like, you know, I always know what's going down. I don't. But a lot of times my hunches are correct. And you pick up on, like Ms. Tiva said, the language that people use. You're not even creative enough to be a troll. You're not even creative enough. This is the same thing that happened when, if you guys remember, back on my old channel, when, remember I told you guys before I spilled the CPS tea that I was being trolled. Okay. And it was different trolls, but I suspected that they were, you know, the same people. Maybe it was more than one person, but they all said the same thing over and over and over. And it was crazy to me. And that's what I'm saying. People, they don't even know how to do it right. They can't even, they think just because they're changing the name in the avatar, you won't pick up on certain things. So let me tell you our troll story number 2. 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. So troll story number 2. This one is a little bit like, it's a little bit cold, you know, it's a cold brew. We're going to call it a cold brew. So recently I was watching Stop Lying TV. I think this might have been, I don't know if this is before their channel got taken down, the first one. I know they're back now. And just to give you some backstory before I tell you, this is not about Stop Lying TV. It's something I observed in one of their videos. So there is this person by the name of Lipstick Alley Attorney. You guys may have seen them. I believe they have a green avatar and they are heavy club shack. Okay. And I always noticed in the past, they would stay with my name in their mouth. They're very pressed. Very pressed. I would see them in his comment section back when I paid attention, like with all the CPS stuff. And I'm like, you're talking about me like you know me, like you're really pressed. And Lipstick Alley Attorney kept saying stuff, kept doing stuff and talking shit, and I would just ignore them. So finally one day I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this person. I'm just going to block them. I started to conserve my energy, guys. And I don't respond to everything anyway, but I was like, I have people addressing me in chats that I know, aren't supporters. They're just trying to distract me. I'm trying to focus on the topic. And this is one of them. Some of the trolls are content creators. Absolutely, Ben Shinker. I was just saying that right before you came in, sis. I was saying that because I don't think I'm not going to say there's not subscribers who get so invested that they feel like they need to take up the baton, on behalf of another content creator. But I don't think this is a subscriber. I think these are content creators that are doing ridiculous shit. And I agree with Ben 200% on that. And so I was in Jay Wilson's chat and I had said something. I think it was when Lady P remember when she was stalking Brianna? And she actually admitted it on Jay Wilson's platform, which I think is completely weird. People have no boundaries. She had admitted to stalking Brianna and taking pictures. And I was typing in the chat, like, are you serious? You're admitting to stalking? I'm like, you need to be careful before somebody runs up on you. So at the same time, there was a troll that dropped down and said stuff, and I just blocked them. I don't even remember what they said. Then when I was watching Stop Lying TV's video of the exact video, at this point, LSA attorney had been blocked. I saw that they were in the chat addressing me. Now, guys, I want you to pay attention to this. At the same moment that I was talking about Lady P doing the stupid shit, LSA attorney was addressing me, and they are double blocked, which means I can't see them and they can't see me. So then I said, how the hell is LSA attorney addressing me from their actual name? And I did not see them in the chat at the time. I can only see them because of Stop Lying TV's recording, right? So then I said, that means this nigga is out here watching this video on 2 pages. That's the only thing I can think of. You had to be watching it from 2 different pages for you to be able to see me because you are blocked, which means I can't see you and you can't see me. And I said, this person is so invested that they're watching, and I sat on this tea for a while. They're watching Jay Wilson's live stream from 2 different devices, or must be simultaneously. And so you're addressing me. I couldn't even see them. Miss Tiva. Yes, Sephora. Yes, it's crazy. Mr. Witz, I said, this person, you are and these people are crazy. They're stalkers. They're creepy as fuck. Pardon my language. Okay, they dumb as hell. I said, this bitch is really sitting up here on 2 devices just so you can see me and talk to me. And I'm not saying I'm the only one that they're checking for. They're probably, if you're trolling and you're going to go to that degree that you're going to watch on 2 devices, because typically what people do is, if let's say they think they're blocked, right? You go, I have done this, right? I have another, it's my other channel, which I have not uploaded to. I have another page, which is my second channel, that when I was beefing with ex-husbands, we gonna be beefing forever. And she was talking shit. I went over on my other page and I went to go see what she was saying on her community wall. I haven't done this in a long time because I give no fucks. Fuck that bitch. And then I would see, oh, she's still talking shit. That's what you do. But that's a regular page. That's a real page. I have never, ever simultaneously watched 2 different videos from 2 different names so that I can see what somebody is saying, all while being under my main channel. Like, who has time for all of that? Who does that, guys? Don't y'all think that's weird and creepy? I said, who is this person? And I almost unblocked them because I said, if you're this invested, let me see what else you're saying. And I didn't. I kept them blocked. But I'm like, I can't see you and you can't see me. But you're so invested. You're addressing me in somebody else's chat. And you know what they said? They are mentally ill, Miss Tiva. Absolutely. You know what they said in the chat? Because I had said, Lady P gonna get run up on playing games like this. They said somebody should run up on you for calling CPS on Sean Bradley. And I said, when I tell you I laughed so hard. Good morning, Andrea. When I tell you I laughed so effing hard, because I said, there it is. There it is. There it is right there. See, Lipstick Alley Attorney, you're sick in the head. You're either super deep Sean Bradley camp or one of those content creators that itch up on that bati every day. There's no way you're that invested that I'm in Jay Wilson's chat and it's a whole different topic. And you're watching from two screens just to tell me somebody's going to run up on me because I called CPS on Sean Bradley. Are you serious? And that's a threat. That's a threat, by the way. I was like, yo, what is wrong with these people? See, you didn't think you were going to be popped, but you got popped. And the only reason why I noticed is because, like I said, Stop Lying TV, who is the archivist of YouTube of the beef sector, okay, who was the archivist, had shown that this person was addressing me while I can't see them. And technically, they're not supposed to see me. Okay? Make it make sense. I was like, I never seen nothing like this. And I knew there's people, it sounds very personal, Miss Tiva. This person is giving away their identity and they don't realize it. It sounds very personal. Pull up season in full effect. I don't, Lola, what do you mean? I don't want to say that because I don't want to be disrespectful because sometimes people say stuff and it sounds like they're being smart and really they're not talking about it. So I'm going to give her a chance to, say what she has to say. But it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I just couldn't believe it. I appreciate the archivist. Yes, I do too. You see, that work is important. And if you think about it, iBabe is also an archivist. So is Brian. See, Brian is very funny and he does really good commentary. But if you've noticed, Brian has shit. I was watching his video this morning from he was kind of covering the Nicole Tyler, James Caldwell beef. And I said, damn, these videos are old, like the Nicole Tyler one. When she was trying to sing the Lauryn Hill song and she sounded like a dying cat. She sounded a hot ass mess. And he put that in his video. And I'm like, yo, Brian is another archivist because he's sitting on these videos and he's able to just kind of splice them in when he needs them. So see, there's a lot of people who do a lot of stupid shit on here, aka Fi Babe. And she doesn't realize just because you're deleting stuff doesn't mean people don't have it. Doesn't mean people aren't tracking like she says. People are also tracking Fi Babe. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. So I have some suspicions as to who I think both of those, well, the one troll is a group kind of, who has said the same thing. And then the other troll, I have some suspicions about who they might be, but it doesn't really matter because for sure LSA attorney is still blocked. I'm sure their stalking ass is probably going to watch this video if they're not lurking in the bushes right now. And, they're going to get... It's crazy. It's so crazy. Let me read these comments before I move on to the next thing. It's very much stalking. It's weird. Why are you addressing me? I can't see you. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not interested in what you have to say. Let me tell you something, guys. When I double block people, it's very rare. There's only a few people on that list. One of the people who got double blocked was, what's her face? Miss Kept Secret, because she kept talking cash money shit and I got tired of her. And I have decided I'm going to conserve my energy. I'm not going to go back and forth with certain people. You're just not worth my time, period. You're not. My energy is not unlimited. I'm not going to argue with you. Blocked. What's her name? Independisa? Blocked. Because she was trying to talk slick to me in Goddess's channel. I don't know you and I don't care about what you have to say. Go back over there to the cult leader. And so she got blocked because I'm just like, I've never had anything with you, so why are you addressing me? Why are you talking froggy and spicy to me? I don't know you people. I've never addressed you. I've never even talked about you. So if you want to be disrespectful, blocked. Like when I block you, that means I give no shits. And I'm not talking about just blocking, you can't write on my channel. No, block, I don't even want to see your fucking face. That's the type of blocking I'm talking about. And so that's what I'm saying. If those people are on the list, there's a reason why you're on that list. Because I don't do that unless it's an accident. Like, but I don't do stuff like that. So anyway, let me read these comments. They're so weird. They're so weird. Rewinding and listening from the balcony. That sounds like a lovely view, Andrea. It's crazy. These people are crazy. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, these people must not be sleeping. Because why are you so invested that you're doing all of this? It's like recon work for the internet. Who does that? It just makes no sense. People from that camp can't let things go. Sephora, you're preaching too many facts, sis. People from that camp can't let things go. If they can't get revenge, they will troll you forever. Sephora, you better preach. And I totally agree. I have seen so many people, which I don't really watch him, but whenever we were going through the back and forth where I virtually gave him an ass whooping, there's a whole playlist about it, guys. Okay, if you've missed any videos from Sean Bradley getting his ass whooped virtually, there is actually a playlist for that. So go ahead and enjoy yourself, okay? Because Sean Bradley keeps thinking that he's popping me. There's nothing to be popped. I already told you the truth, okay? And you pretty much spilled your own tea and said all this stuff, and then now your minions are mad for what? Get a life. Get a life. SLTV is a good channel to dip and see what's going on, just enough to not watch. Masiva. Oh yes, I really like them. I like Stop Lying TV, Masiva. Binge said screen recording is unready for the archives. Binge said, listen, I got my own archives. I'm just too lazy. There's times that I thought about doing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna screen record this, and I was like, you know what? I know there's people that's gonna get this. Mixology Plus says, binge that part. Don't even have to wait for the download no more. Okay, you guys are on it. Miss Tiva said they don't. That's the sad part because SM has snatched their whole bag. Let me try. I gotta figure out who that is. It's so dumb. I don't understand why people are this invested. Like we all got a little bit of messiness. We all want a little bit of the tea and stuff. But it's like if you're gonna be doing all of that, something is not right. I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, that's all I had to say about the troll popping. Okay. I really haven't been watching much. Ben Schenker said, no, I will never, ever screen record the mess. Oh, sorry, Ben Schenker. Social media. Okay. Thanks, Miss Tiva. Let me go back and reread that so I can get that. Yes. And it's true, Miss Tiva. I do think social media has snatched their whole beings. There are people that are a shell of themselves because they're just too enmeshed in social media drama. They can't separate, the online shenanigans from their real lives. It's bled over into their real lives. It's crazy. You won't, but someone else's binge. Yeah, people be on it. They screen record all the time. So LSA attorney and the other trolls who shall remain nameless because y'all not real pages anyway. Yeah, you're blocked. Okay. Go ahead and keep watching people from 2 devices because it just shows how pathetic you are. Anyway, moving right along. All right. So I wanted to talk about this story. And this is a story straight out of Canada, but it relates to the States as well because we know residential schools was in Canada and the US. Okay. Before I keep reading, let me just read these comments real quick. Miss Tiva said facts. Sephora said because they feel like the content creator they love is their son in their head. Yep, Sephora. If you listen to them, they always say Baby Shark is like their son. It's so creepy. It's so creepy. I don't understand. And this is why I said, like, it's a cult. That's weird. That's weird. Whenever you see people, they're so invested that they can't even, like, those people would rather try to make me the bad guy, even though I'm not the one who sat on live, okay, ignoring my child. They want him. They're so invested in making me the bad guy. Once again, I had somebody the other day. I just started blocking people. Anybody who brings up the CPS thing, and they're saying just fake stuff, I just block them. I don't even engage with them anymore. I've done 5 videos now. I'm not repeating myself. I don't have time for you. And it makes me think back to what Sephora said about these people are so invested. and they're so vindictive and bitter that it's true that they think, well, we can't get her with facts, so we're just going to troll her. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. You'd be surprised at the ones who does what on here. Exactly, mixology. I'm starting to realize that. Manny, you would, but they give themselves away a lot of times. They do. And that's why, Miss Tiva, I'm not going to say too much about what I noticed and who I think it might be, because we don't want them to switch up how they're moving. Let them keep being dumb, and then they eventually pop themselves. They're stupid. So let's talk about these toxic priests. So a few weeks ago, I did a story on my channel about residential schools and how they were finding a lot of bodies of children at former residential school sites in Canada. And they were doing this by using ground penetrating radar equipment. And so since that video, guys, I think it's been hundreds more bodies that have been found. It's very sad. But here's the thing. People have been saying this for years, okay? The indigenous community have been saying this for years, and they've been dismissed and, kind of silenced and stuff. And so now they're finding all these bodies of these children who either were missing or people tried to just erase them out, make it seem like they weren't missing. So, I'm just going to be honest. Some of the quotes, exactly, Miss Eva, some of the quotes I'm going to read is actually a little triggering. So I'm just going to warn you. I'm going to try my best to not go off too much, but I'm going to say whatever however I feel, because it's really fucked up. So a priest in Winnipeg got banned from the Archdiocese of Winnipeg. Winnipeg is a city in the province of Manitoba that's in Canada. And his name is Rheal Forest. Now, a lot of times there's names here that I don't think this one's French, but child, I took Spanish in school. I didn't take French. So please forgive me if I butcher any names. It's just not in me. So anyway, Rheal Forest, I think it's RH or Rheal Forest, RHEAL, was banned. He's a priest, guys. He's a priest that was banned by Winnipeg Archdiocese for making ignorant public comments during a sermon, guys. He did this shit during a sermon, okay? I Am Mighty Zion Movements says this has happened in Germany, Costa Rica, and other places. Thank you for that information. I Am Mighty Zion Movements. I had no idea. So thank you for sharing that knowledge with us. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Mixology said I took French and Spanish. Okay. No, that's good though, Manny. It's good because you're able to recognize things a lot better. So that's good for you. That's excellent. So, like I said, this is trigger warning, okay? So he had a mass on July 10th, okay? And he said, we're not going to call him father, okay? Because I refuse to refer to him as that, okay? We're going to call him the Irreverent Forest. The Irreverent Forest said residential school survivors lied about being sexually abused so that they would receive more money during the settlement process with the federal government. Okay, guys. I want you to remember, not only did this stupid man say this, but he said this in a sermon. Oh, the caucasity. Okay, let's continue. This is actually a direct quote that I'm about to read. If they wanted extra money from the money that was given to them, they had to lie sometimes. Lie that they were abused sexually. And oop, he actually said, and oop, guys. And oop, another 50,000, Forrest said. I just want that to sink in. I'm going to read that again. This person said if they wanted extra money from the money that was given to them, they had to lie sometimes. Lie that they were abused sexually, and oop, another 50,000. I'm going to continue. I'm going to read another quote by his bitch ass. Yes, I said it, bitch ass. It's kind of hard if you're poor not to lie, he continued. This is a Catholic priest, guys. This is a Catholic priest. Okay, he said it's kind of hard if you're poor not to lie, he continued, adding of all of the indigenous people who he knew during his 22 years working up north in the residential schools. Okay, I'm gonna pause. I see some reactions. Miss Tiva said, wow, wow, wow. Barf emoji. Mixology Plus is shocked. So I read this morning and I was so angry, guys, because it feels like there's so many layers and levels to the F-ish Not only is this man extremely racist, but he is classist. You are a Catholic priest. You've given your life for many different things, and one of them is supposed to be looking out for poor people. And then you're going to sit up there during your sermon and say, it's kind of hard if you're poor not to lie. Crank up the heat in hell 10 times hotter for this bitch. Okay. And I don't, if I'm offending anybody, because you're religious, I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm not going to tiptoe around people like this. Exactly, Benj. Oh, we getting to that, Benj. We're getting to that, okay, sis? Because that is exactly my hunch. You are talking, I'm bad. You're talking like a whole damn predator out here. Okay, yes, 20 times. Okay, Manny said not 10 to 20 times. Okay, crank up the fire. Because what the hell? Are you serious? Are you serious? And guys, I mean, I'm just speechless right now, because this is somebody who is supposed to be bringing healing and help to communities. This tells me you were right there with them doing the abusing. Probably all the types, physical, sexual, all of it. Okay? I hope you burn in hell. Because who says that shit? The indigenous people have been through so much shit in their life. Genocide wasn't enough. Okay? Genocide wasn't enough. These white supremacist ass people had to take these people and put them into residential schools, which the whole point is to strip them of their identity, the knowledge that they carry, everything. Okay? Everything. Trying to make them seem like, they're animals or barbarians. And you put them in these residential schools, and that wasn't enough. The genocide wasn't enough. Okay? The abuse wasn't enough. The residential schools wasn't enough. Now we got this bitch nigga. Yes, I called him a bitch nigga. Now we got this person out here, okay, pretty much shaming the victims and the survivors and minimizing and invalidating their experiences by saying that they were fucking lying. How dare you? How dare you? I'm just so angry. And let me tell you something. This is what I do know about the Catholic Church. They never fire people. What they do is move people around, even the predators who have sexually abused children. They don't ever fire people. So the fact that this man was banned, I'm going to tell you what I think it really is. I don't think he was banned because they're just so morally on point and they're just so frustrated that he would say something so horrific. No, they banned him because they don't want this to reflect poorly on them. Because this man is a stain on Catholicism, okay, and their archdiocese. So they said, let us get rid of him so he can't be linked to us. You're not sorry. I'm not convinced that the Catholic Church is sorry that this man said this, because they were also perpetrators in these residential schools. They were some of the teachers, guys, brainwashing these kids, beating the hell out of them, telling them they need to have white names, changing their hairstyles, okay? People don't want to talk about it. And this is why I get so mad when I hear Black people say things like, yeah, we were the real Indians. That is so ignorant. Okay, yes, some of us have heritage and, genes from the Native Americans, the indigenous people of North America. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying some of us don't have that in our blood. But I get so mad when I hear Black people say this, because it's like, we've already had shit done to us. Why do you want to take away from these people? You're just doing the same shit that the racist white people did by stripping them of their identity. Now you want to take their identity? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's ignorant. I can't stand it. I used to follow this one person, and he used to say a lot of cool things that I enjoyed. And I stopped following him because I'm like, no, I'm not going to participate in this cultural appropriation that you're doing by saying, oh, we were the real ones. And, they just changed it. They just changed it. What? Anyway, moving right along. So this man said all of this. He said all of this and he got banned. See, I think being banned is not enough. They need to do a thorough investigation on his dumbass to make sure he was not one of the perpetrators. Because guess what? Since 2015, it might have been before. Well, since 2015, there's been 40 successful convictions, okay, of people who abused children in the residential schools. And that's a low number compared to the allegations. Because when I was reading, I think it was something like 37,000 plus allegations. And I'm going to say something else that's a little controversial. Okay. First of all, I believe thoroughly all of the survivors and victims in the things that they said. But I'm going to say this. Even if there is a handful of people who added on extra shit that happened to them because they thought it was going to be monetary gain, they deserve every goddamn penny. Because the shit that you guys put these people through, yeah, tack on another 50,000. Okay. So it doesn't go to your dumb robe and it doesn't go to your stupid altar. Okay. Because they did so much stuff to these people, but you're turning around and somehow they're the bad guy. How are you going to turn around and say that these people are trying to get extra money? You owe them money. You owe them money. I believe them too. But this is what abusive people do. Whenever abusive people get cornered or their cabal starts to get torn down, then they pull these narc behaviors and they accuse the person of being the one who, who is lying or, accusing the person of doing the things. That's what people do because they're scared and they're mad that this is getting brought to light. I hope they investigate him thoroughly because there's no way you're not involved if you're saying these things, number one, and if you're saying these things in a sermon. That tells me your goal was to brainwash people. Your goal was to sway people. You have people here who the first thing they want to talk about is alcoholism in the indigenous community. Okay? They want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about genocide and residential schools. They want to jump to, there's a lot of alcoholism and violence. Well, guess the fuck what? If you witnessed the genocide of your people and the destruction of your people and the continual raping of your people, a lot of that shit would affect you. And guess what? Some people may turn to the bottle. Okay? It's a miracle that these people are still alive, just like us, just like Black people, because we've been through a lot of shit. And our ancestors have been through a lot of shit and continue to go through a lot of shit. So how dare you? I'm so angry, and I'm going to keep an eye on this story because I really hope being banned is not his only punishment. It's very deep. It's very deep. Thank you, Miss Money. They were. People don't talk about that either. They brought the alcohol into the community and stuck them next to casinos and shit and wine and spirit stores. It's crazy. It's no different than Reagan's administration, okay, funneling crack into Black communities. And then years later, we hear, because they tried to make it seem like it was conspiracy theories. Years later, we hear, oh, yeah, they did do that. They did. But yet Black people are XYZ and we're lazy and, we ain't about shit. It's crazy to me. It's crazy the stuff that they do. The same people who do the evil shit towards you will turn around and blame you for it. Make it make sense. It's a crazy world that we're living in, guys. It's very, very crazy. So anyway, I just went off on that irreverent person. I make no apologies for what I said because I'm tired of protecting people who are bullies and predators who hide behind badges, who hide behind robes and crosses and the fact that they're clergymen. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your title is. If you're evil and you're doing evil shit to people and you're adding to the problem, you got to go. You don't get no respect from me. I give no fucks because these people aren't special. Okay, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing anyway. So I don't need to be worried. I don't need to be concerned what God's going to think because you're not doing what you said God is telling you to do. Sitting up here talking about it's easy for the poor to lie. Child, I can't. Anyway, let's read these comments before we move on. I'm just so mad. They were fed alcohol in indigenous communities. Sorry, I read that comment. It's deep. Literally giving alcohol vouchers. Woo! It's crazy. It is crazy. Abusive people intensifies their attack when their victims defend themselves. Benj, I wish I could pin this. Okay, she's absolutely right. The entitlement of abusers. Bingo. That's kind of what, even though this is a different topic, that's kind of what young Pharaoh is doing to his partner, his ex-partner right now. That's all I'm going to say. Miss Tiva said, but we'll catch the rest of them. Oh, you got to go. Okay, bye, Miss Tiva. Take care. Yes, it's crazy. Okay, absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next topic. All right, because I could already feel my blood boiling. Because this kind of shit really, really makes me mad. Like, really makes me mad. And I don't like when people try to sugarcoat and cover up things and dismiss, victims. So let's talk about something positive now. All right. I intentionally put all of that crazy shit in the beginning so we could get to some good stuff. All right. So I don't know if you guys have heard about the Lionsgate portal. I think last year was the first year that I heard of it. Every year in August the 8th to be specific. That's kind of like the date that they use to recognize Lionsgate portal. And it has to do with kind of like planetary alignments, but also because it's Leo season, that's where the Lionsgate part comes from. It's supposed to be a time of like high vibration, powerful energies. And so I think that's a good time for setting intentions, goal setting, manifesting, just really bringing and calling the things to you that you want in your life, because it's just kind of extra. Think of it as like an extra amplified, positive, vibrational energy. So that's coming up on August 8th. So I was like, let me tell people before it comes, because last year I think I found out the day of. And so what I do typically is I like to script, I like to write my intentions and goals down. So I will think about what it is that I want to bring into my life, and then I will write it down, because this is a good way to not only focus on those intentions, but also to kind of define and make it clear what it is that you want, right? So I'm going to share something with you guys on top of the Lionsgate portal. So I have things that I do every new moon and every full moon. So every new moon, I focus on setting intentions, and I journal this. I write it down. Most of them, sometimes I miss it if I'm super busy, but I just take quiet time to meditate and to journal. That's what I do in the new moon. And then on the full moon, I use that time to reflect. So think back on the intentions I've already set. Paying attention to what has manifested so far. So, for example, if I wrote that there was something that I wanted to bring into my life and it was written down in my goal, which I get to check off a lot of things, or journal about, like, oh, this actually did happen. It's a good time to express gratitude, because we can't just, a life is about balance. We can't just take and just want stuff all the time. We have to give as well, and also express gratitude. So I will write a list of gratitude, things that I'm things that I'm grateful for. I will write that list, and be grateful for things that I have and things that have happened, like that has come to pass, that has manifested. I also try to release things, so things that no longer serve me. I try to write that down and release that. And sometimes there's similar things, because it's a process. Miss Manny says confirmation, absolutely. And that's been very healing and helpful to me. I've been doing this, I think it's been over a year, but let's just say a year, because the pandemic has my timeline is screwed up. I can't remember when I started things, but I do know I've been doing it for at least a year. And I think it's changed my life a lot. Some people don't realize the effect that the moon has on all of us. It's not just, you always hear about the full moon and people going crazy. It doesn't have to be about that. Like, every moon has different energy. Every moon cycle, full moon cycle has different energy that it brings. And if you pay attention to that stuff, you kind of could see how it's affecting you and other people around you. And it's just a good time to reflect. It doesn't have to be, everybody goes deeper into it, but like different people goes deeper into it, but like, it doesn't have to be something super big or super scary. It just could be a time for you to reflect, and think about what you want to bring in. And again, full moon, what you want to release. So Lionsgate portal is, to me, I think of it as kind of like a super duper, even though it's not a full moon, like I think of it as that time. And I'm going to be setting some intentions and writing some things down. And yeah, let me know if you guys see. Okay, Binge Thinker. Oh, I would love to hear your thoughts, Binge Thinker, because I know she would know all about this. This is very rudimentary info that I'm offering here, but I'm sure Binge would have more. And she said, Lionsgate energy is everything. And I'm gonna tell you, she's right. Last year, August, I remember that was the first time, like I said, that I had, paid attention to, yes, divine alignment, paid attention to this energy. And every time first of all, I could feel it. It was like, I felt like I was buzzing. Like, I don't know, that's the best way I could describe it. It just felt very, very, very high vibe. I felt the energy for sure. I had like a rush of ideas. Like, it was crazy. I kept getting like lots of ideas, and I actually wish I was paying attention to it sooner and writing things down, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't understand at the time what that time period was. So I'm very grateful that I now know that, so I can pay attention to it each year. Yeah, so this is a good time to journal, see what comes to you, and think about. Yeah, it is palpable. You can feel it for sure. It's very palpable. And the more I spend time, kind of honoring the moon cycles and paying attention to the moon cycles, it really does help you get more in sync with life. It helps you to slow down and be more in sync with nature, and just paying attention, right? Just paying attention. Yes, I'm telling you, Miss Manny, it's crazy. It really is. Sephora said, "What about hot flashes? Is that a sign of energy?" It can be. It can be, Sephora. So everybody experiences different. Some people talk about ascension symptoms. I don't know enough about that to like talk about it to you, but that sounds like that could be one of them. So yeah, I'm trying to think of binge. What's the best way to describe like ascension symptoms? So Vince said the downloads come with simplicity and clarity. That part, like literally verbatim, what she just said is how I felt last year. It was crazy. And I still actually, it was like every time I look back at that journal entry, it's like I can feel it all over again. Like that's how tangible it was. That's how much you could feel it. So I would really encourage you guys. Okay, so see, yeah, binge was like, yep. Pay attention, guys. The energies are subtle. There's a lot of chaos going on in the world, but I really can say that spending the time, taking time to focus on these different cycles has really helped me a lot. It's helped my healing journey. I'm trying to think what else I do on the new moon, full moon. There's a lot of different things I do. I clear my crystals and stuff, but not everybody has crystals, but that's a good time. It's very powerful energy. And then if you want to take it a step deeper, you can also look into what energy that full moon is, like what it's offering, what it's bringing. It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Sephora said, "Thank you, binge. Now it makes sense." Yep. Yep. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on. Or sometimes write down. Sometimes what I do is I'll think about, well, how am I feeling around the time of the new moon and the full moon, and then I'll look into what energies are happening and kind of see like what synchronicities are there. So I can learn more about myself and learn more about those patterns. Let me see. Let me check my notes here to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So yeah. So once again, you want to tap into that. You can do something as simple as journaling. I really think there's something to writing things down, guys. Writing down our intentions and our goals and reviewing them. It could be really, really powerful. Binge Thinker said, "Being in divine alignment also solidifies the divine assignment." Yes, Binge. Oh my gosh, Binge, you got to do some classes and stuff, man. She's just like a wealth of knowledge on this stuff, but it really has been life changing. There's more I wish I could say, but sometimes people get like kind of creeped out by stuff, so we'll just do a little bit at a time. But that's what I have to say about Lionsgate Portal. It's a good time to activate and take advantage of that positive high vibe energy. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, anything else before we wrap up? I'm trying to think if there's anything. I hope you guys get your supplies. Again, no fear mongering. There's no harm in preparing, because if you buy stuff and nothing happens, you can always just use it, right? And replace it periodically. Like you can, like water is not going to go bad. Canned food, if you have it for a long time, a year or whatever it is, I forget how long it lasts, you can just use it before it's gone and then replenish it. So, make sure you guys are stocking up. Don't wait until, shit hits the fan. You don't have to go crazy, just a little something, before you start stocking up. Like, I'm going to go today. I'm going to get some more things. My husband was supposed to get a child. He didn't. He said he had 11 things to do. And I'm like, I'm going to go today. So I'm going to go today and get some stuff. And any other thoughts, any questions, any comments I really encourage you guys to read up more about. Oh, you're welcome, Miss Manny. See, this is actually, I would do more stuff about this. I think part of it is, so I've embraced it personally. I have, but I don't feel as comfortable sharing it publicly because there's just sometimes I think people are very close minded. And it's not, I'm usually like a very confident person when it comes to like my beliefs and opinions, but um, I think some things I just don't talk about, right? Because I don't know if people, there's only certain, like certain communities, you know where people are and stuff, and it's nice to be able to talk about that. But it's great. I'm just so grateful for you guys that you are able to talk about this. You're welcome, Benj. Oh my gosh, I felt like I should talk about this, and I'm really glad that I listened. I'm glad that I listened to Spirit. So, guys, this is a crazy live. I know we talked about a lot. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I'm certainly grateful that you're all here, and I'm sending you love and positive vibes. And I'm gonna see you in the next video. I love you all. Happy, what day is it? Thursday? I'm off today, child. Thursday. Happy Thursday. Sending you guys all the good vibes, and I'll see you around here in the YouTube streets or in the next video. Bye. Let me see if I can find my music. So first always telling me to be prepared, but I'm a hot mess. Let's see. Chow, my music. There we go. All right, guys. Have a great day. Miss Manny said I completely understand. Bye, Benj. Benj, why do you remove your videos sometimes? You'll have really good stuff up, or sometimes I'll see that you go live and I go back to watch it and it's gone. I'm just curious. Thank you, peace, love. Thanks for being here, sis. Oh, there's also a really good book, guys. If you want to know more about new moon, full moon manifestation, there's a book called Moonology. I don't remember the name of the author, but it's called Moonology. So that's a good one to check out if you want more info. You can also find stuff online, but I find that it's a very one love, Lola, big up. Yeah, I'm like, I see her go live and I get excited, like, yes, I'm gonna watch Benji's video, and it's gone, child. It be gone. I'm like, Benj, we need this knowledge, sis. I'm like, hold up. Bye, y'all.